Guys, I'm Mrs. Rhodes, and I am the mother of your wonderful, famous teacher. Uh, and she asked me to help you with composition, and I understand why. You know, I've taught, and when I taught composition, but I didn't realize even then how important it is. I've gone to many workshops with professional artists since I retired, and I've had time to do it. And I have found that all these great artists that are out there making big money, they all have their own composition um, kind of list of what they like, their composition type, and they rename them, and it makes it very confusing. And so there's no reason why you aren't confused, and you don't have it really in your toolbox where you're using it as you should. In fact, I didn't use it until I retired and went to these workshops and realized how important it is. I'm going to start the PowerPoint that I made up that will help keep us on track. And so here we go. Okay, first of all, composition. It can be overwhelming if you approach your art without a map. Okay, you can lose your way. Composition provides the general direction of a clear destination. It eliminates detours. Now, I can't see you while I'm doing this. So let me see if I can, I don't think I can reduce this. So I'll just talk to the screen. Okay, for one thing, composition, you're learning a lot of things. You know, don't put things in the corners. Make sure each corner is different. Don't have an arm go off the page where there's a joint. There's all kinds of things to refine your artwork, but the composition itself is the skeleton. It's the thing that you need to start with, and so you know where you're going. And I had a workshop teacher who's very famous go in and tell us that you don't have to worry about composition. Well, as I watched her, and I've watched her videos, and I've, you know, she has it embedded in her more than, so she kind of puts it on the back burner because she knows what she's doing. It comes out as she does it. But if you don't start with the composition, if you don't start with your basic rules, you're going to get into your artwork and get lost. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us. We just, we get excited, we get something going, and then all of a sudden we have a mess. Okay, this, by understanding composition, it will help you stay out of the mess as much. Okay, here's one set of compositional structures, we'll call them. Like this is the S. See, you see an S there. You see a T. In other words, you're going to put everything that way. Now, Ms. King gave you some worksheets. On the worksheets, we're going to go over that in just a minute, so you'll know exactly where we're headed and what we're doing, okay? But here's just some examples. Here's a pyramid. Well, now, the one I'm going to show you, we call it triangle. This is gradation. I don't even have that on the list that I have for you. The vignette, I don't have that on the list, but this artist, that's one of his composition pieces, you know, that he believes is something that his art fits. So until you have done enough art, yes, honey.
You need to share your screen.
I need to show my screen. Oh,
share.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me see what I need to do. Just, I'll get out of this. Is this showing?
It's you.
Oh. Okay.
The green button down there says share screen.
Oh dear. What did I just do? Okay. Okay. That's what I didn't do. Okay, share. There. Now, does that make more sense?
Yes.
Hallelujah. Okay, now I can see y'all too. Oh, good. Okay, all this technology is so much fun. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, I tell you what, you never stop learning. And in art, you never stop learning. And now with all this technology, you never stop learning. Okay, first of all, let's get this up here to full screen. Okay, we're going to start from beginning. Composition plus, it can't be overwhelming. If you approach your art without a map, you can lose your way. Composition provides the general direction of a clear destination and eliminates detours. And just keep that in mind. This is what I was talking about. This is what one instructor said. These were his compositional aids. This was his skeleton for his work. So if he starts and he thinks he's going to do something like a landscape, well, he might go towards the T or the S, but he has in mind what he's going to do first. So what we're going to do today is the exercise where you're going to kind of play with these different things. Now, the one I gave you is I've got cruciform, cantilever, horizontal. Okay, all this we are going to go through one at a time so you understand what they are, and you can pick out the ones that you like. And if you don't like any of these, you might come up with your own, but you need something to start with. And that's the whole idea. This is what we have. Let me see, I think I can. Whoops, nope, it didn't do it. You are screen sharing. Okay, there we go. I have something on here I saw yesterday. Is it this? Nope, that's not it. Okay, well, some way I was able to get this larger, so but you have it in front of you, so you can read it. And I've got one right here. And what it is, the top squares, this one, this one, this one, you're going to go in and you're going to pick one of these three of these designs, and you're just going to draw this. If you decide you're going to do horizontal, you just go across here, okay? If you're going to do tunnel or radial, you're going to draw one of these little things on there, up here, just in these three. That's all. Simple. 1, 2, 3. Pick out 3 of these, put them up here. Okay, and then you're going to go down here and you're going to come up with a subject. I was considering you taking one of your old paintings and trying to do a thumbnail, but restructuring it as to these. But then sometimes not everything fits in everything. So maybe keep it simple. Maybe think of something that's in the kitchen, or a still life, or a landscape, and then do a thumbnail sketch. Now, and I'm going to show you what thumbnail sketches are in just a minute. And I'm sure you know what they are. But then that's all this is. That is all this is just coming up with 3 ideas of placing your objects. If you have, like I have dishes. And so I'm going to place them within that object. So this is one of mine. This is a cruciform. I drew it up here. Okay. Let me see. There should be a pointer. Laser pointer. Okay, here we go. I drew it up here. This right here, I drew here. Right here, I drew this. This is a thumbnail. This is very, very fast, and it's just placement of objects. How big is the object? Is it going off the page? Is it filling up the page? What direction is it going? That's all it is. It could be squares. It could be, and you label them what they are. Like this is a parfait ice cream glass right here, and this is a spoon or an ice cream dipper. I could be either. It could evolve into whatever, but I've got a start of an idea. I know where I'm going to place things. And let's see. Let's see, why will this not do this? Oh, because I'm not doing it like this. Okay, this is horizontal. I put it in here. I thought of glasses. So I know you can't see it very well, but and that's what this is for yourself. This is a top of a glass. This is top of a glass. This is top of a glass. The glasses go on down off the page. Then I thought horizontal. How am I going to get it horizontal? Well, the tops are kind of horizontal. There's glasses that have stripes in them. So I'm going to put stripes in here, those bright stripes that you see through and you see glass between them. And then I thought, now there's something that's called the center of interest. And I'm sure Ms. King has shown you the tic-tac-toe. And this is one of the spots that people look at first. So I'm going to make sure they look at it there and by putting a straw right there. So that is another idea. Okay, here's another idea, curves. That is one of the structures. Okay, I'm going to do a sink full of bubbles because they're curvy. And then all my glasses, everything's going to be curvy. Now, is this going to be a realistic painting? I haven't decided yet. It could be design, it could be collage, it could be a lot of things. But I'm just placing my objects on my page. See, this is my page. This piece is going to be this big. My faucet's going to come right here. So I'm making all these decisions. This is now what you're going to do is you're going to take one of those and you're going to take, say, the back of a piece of regular old paper and just draw your square the shape of in proportion to your sketch. Like if I had drawn a giraffe on a tall sketch, this would not be, that giraffe would not fit in the square, that space. So you've got to get it in proportion, and that's another lesson in how to do it exactly in proportion. But you can just do it rough proportion now. So here we go. This is the sink. This is so you can see a little bit more detail. Does that mean I'm going to keep everything where it is right now? My final? No. This is like a beater. It's kind of rounded. So I'm sticking to my first structure. The skeleton's there. Now, where am I?
Ms. King. Hello, Ms. King.
Let me turn you down, or turn yourself down, or something. Let me turn you down a little bit. Maybe that goes, okay. This is the first one we'll look at. It's called Cantilever. And Cantilever, this is the little sketch of it, where you have a lot on one side, just a little bit over here. But it makes it, you have to have good construction, but I was starting, I was thinking, oh, that's going to be hard to find. No, it wasn't. When I started looking at artwork, there was a lot of cantilevers. Here's an example of one right here, where you have a tall tree and a little tree. And then here's another one up here. This is the non-objective piece where you have dark here and heavy dark over here. Here is another tree, big tree, kind of going, and then you have your small. So that's a cantilever. So when you design, you want to have a big, this is a big, vast nothingness. But to be a true cantilever, they probably should have had a little something over here, but because it's so vast, your eye goes over there. So, and this is another similar cantilever. In other words, how you interpret it, but you've got something to start with. This is your starting point. Okay, could be considered cantilever. You have a lot of color here. You have no color here. Another cantilever is a famous one by Picasso. Okay, you have all your group of people and you have one person over here. Okay, oh, this was not supposed to be in cantilever. This is more, we're going to get to that one later. This is not cantilever either. Okay, these two are going to be in another one, and I'll show you. Remember these two. Okay, and I'll tell you what those are. I put them in the wrong place. Cruciform. Okay, that's just a cross. This is very, very popular. If you're going to use one, this one's, used by many people. This is a non-objective piece that was done with cantilever. Cruciform. And here, this is cruciform, believe it or not. This is a guy and it's breaking the surface up. Cruciform. Cruciform. See, it doesn't shout cruciform, but it is. So when you're putting your pieces in, this is cruciform. You know where you're going to put them. Look at this, cruciform. Now you see it. You know, the artist started with the idea of where they were going, what their structure is, what their skeleton is going to be, what's going to hold their piece together. Okay, this is a famous piece, Cruciform. Whoa. Okay, horizontal is another one. It's just where everything's going. And I thought, oh, that's going to be hard, easy to find. It's not. Horizontal is very common in landscapes. Okay, but it's not that common in other things. But I did horizontal, remember, with the glasses. So yeah, you can use it in other things. Constellation. Now, you don't find this one very many places in the list of different compositions that other people do. But this is one that was brought out. And this is where you have like a bunch of little stars and then a big grouping of stars. It's kind of like cantilever. But here you have a large grouping and a small grouping. So this could be cantilever or constellation, but you've got an idea you start with. This is your skeleton. This is your building blocks. Meander. What in the world is meander? Well, meander is going all over the page. Okay. Now, just because you go all over the page doesn't mean you don't have a center of interest. Notice, ta-da. Okay, this is, everything else is broken up. You got a bigger area here. So yeah, you still have a meandering, you have breaking up a space all over, but you know, this is just design, but it's meander. Okay, here's another type of meander. You know, you have 3 panels here, but this design is meandering all over the place. It's just taking your eye from one thing to the other to the other. And notice that this is the most colors right there. Okay, and even once you get through this and you've got it all positioned and you've got it started, you still have to decide where your center of interest is going to be. Some pieces are real obvious, some aren't. But you as an artist have control. This is meandering, but everything's broken up. Everything's kind of, you know, and you can put another name on this just because I'm saying meandering, because this is one that, Robert Burridge is the one that has this meandering. But, and this can be considered meandering because you're breaking up areas. Okay, now diagonals, you know, like that. And I thought I'd find a lot of diagonals. Anything with motion, you'll find them. This is like landscape with hills. A person that's at a diagonal. This is another, and the diagonal doesn't have to go, you know, this way. It can go this way. I mean, it's how you want to interpret it. But this also is diagonal. Notice the squares are going in a diagonal. Your major things are going in a diagonal. So that is your bones. Curves. That's what I did mine with, is curves. But look how other artists create their art around curves. Notice the leaves are curved. Everything, every line, everything is curved. So that ties it together. Mountains. But it's a very abstract. When I do a thumbnail, I might have lines like that, but who knew that I was going to come up with that, you know, if that was my art. Now, here's a curve. Notice, it's just all of your edges have curves to them. You know, even, you know, you have a curve in the moon. I mean, everything is curved. Here's an abstract with curves. And here's, of course, eggs curved, but notice the other lines. They are curved. They all tie together. Okay, curved. A face has many curves to it. Okay, now if they had done you can do a very angular face and make it angles. But this is, everything is curved and soft, and it all goes together. An abstract. Everything, all your edges are curved. Okay, presentation as a circle, that's definitely curved, but all of these things also have curves on them. Even her dress has a curve. Everything is curvy. Vertical. is just strapping down. Trees, definitely strapping down. Okay, this is going strapping down. This now sometimes you can have more than one compositional element. Okay, this one has several compositional elements. This is like a tunnel where, okay, you have all your lines going down to a certain edge. Point. So you can introduce another compositional design on top of them. And that's where it gets a little more complex. For right now, keep it simple. Always in your artwork, if you keep things simple, then you have control over it. Once it becomes complex, and you lose control. Here's vertical, because everything is placed, notice even the chair, it could have been curved more, but they straightened it. A line going vertical. You know, your basic, even this line right over here, vertical. That enhance that composition. Uneasiness. Okay, this is a tornado. Yes, it's uneasy. What did they do? How did they show this? Okay, you have these small spots like this down here, and you have a base, like this, and you have this. Uneasiness. So they wanted to do a tornado. They went to this composition and placed their objects in this thought mode, in this structure. Okay, this shows a lot of motion. Okay, is she going to fall? Is she going, she's at a slight diagonal, and they've got, again, at a point, like this. Triangular, that is, have you ever thought of that as being triangular? I know you've seen this painting before in your studies. Okay, here's triangular. I'm doing a city. Okay, I'm going to do it in triangular composition. Triangular. Who would have thought a basket of fruit? But they made it triangular. They started with this. Okay, this again, triangular goes very well with portraits and old people, just like this. Daddy bear, mama bear, and baby bear. Now, that's something kind of new. And I think I put that on there for you. I know I did. And it's something that I just came across, but it makes so much sense. They say you should have one big thing, one medium, and one little object. And again, there's those threes, These are all the refinements that you get into, but again, you can use this as your bones. So here is bones. Who ever thought this was daddy bear, mama bear, baby bear? When he went to draw this, I wonder if he knew about this compositional element and if he used that as his basis for what he did. Again, daddy bear, mama bear, baby bear. And again, daddy bear. Just a minute. Okay. Daddy bear, mama bear, and baby bear. They put that little one in there. Yes. What is it? And here we go. Now, here's a rock. Could that be considered a mama bear, daddy bear, mama bear, baby bear? Could be. Okay, now you have a lot of other things here. But if you just break it down to your basic big things, daddy bear, mama bear, baby bear. Or you can even come down here. But, that's stretching a little bit, but, And the S. Now, the S is a very well-known, especially in your landscapes. Okay, so you have the S. But you can also do it in an animal. There's the S. And there's the S. And believe it or not, there is the S. It doesn't have to follow a path, extreme. It needs to suggest. Okay, and then you've got, again, the S. If you look at the, and you know, here's an L. In fact, what you can start doing is go through Pinterest and try to figure out what compositions they were using. Here's an L. And here's an L. And this is the tunnel and radiating lines that I mentioned in the other one. Okay, here's your radiating lines coming up. I mean, it can be done in many ways. Again, okay, this is the one that I was showing you before. But again, you have your edging. It's not like a line. It's like it's throwing your eyes up through there. It's, you know, suggesting. Look, who would have thought that was a tunnel? And who would have thought this is radiating lines? Because if you go, you know, these just look like they're going like this, from corner to corner, and it's just pulling you out like that. It's just, you know, radiating lines. This one's same thing. It's what you would call the vanishing point, you know, but it's the design. It's the sculpture. I mean, the structure is radiating lines. Here's another one. Now look at that. You know, this is, again, perspective, but it pulls it together, it holds it together. Van Gogh, you know, he didn't have much training, but in reality, it's that by using his perspective and lining up these edges, it creates that radiating line. Okay. I can't see this one because we're over here. There we go. There you have your tunnel. This is almost like the tunnel thing. We don't have a lot of radiating lines, but we got one thing in the center and everything is around it, framing it. Okay, now this is your golden section, or golden means, or what do you want to do? And Miss King, I'm sure, has told you about the tit-tat-toe, 1/3 down, 1/3 over, 1/3 down, 2/3 over, 2/3 down, 1/3 over, 2/3 down, 2/3 over. Those are sweet spots of where you want the viewer to look first, because you are in control of who is going to, where they're going to look, because you're telling a story with your art, and you've got to have a beginning. And you have a beginning, and you have to go, and you have to travel through, and you don't want something lost and be an island someplace. So these are all things, these are things that come after your basic bones. Okay, here, there's your center of interest right there. It's the easel. It's the one thing that, and the man is different, but the easel overcomes the man because the man is interacting with the easel. Okay, here's a very simple one. The biggest mouth. Okay, right here you have everything is radiating, coming towards that. So that's your vanishing point, and of course, that's your golden section. In reality, when I was teaching, you know, I've taught the basic, you know, constructions and all, but I didn't really get into it as deep as I did today, showing you examples of it. So hopefully you understand why you need to decide which ones of these you like. And you can't decide until you start using them. So that's why on this project, that these 2 pieces of paper is just an exercise. It's not, you know, the end all, but it's getting you starting to understand what it is. You put your hands down and start getting your hands in it and understanding it. And hopefully you'll start looking at pieces of artwork and say, oh, that's a cruciform. And you'll see where the artist started. And if you start seeing that, then you'll see it in your own artwork. And once you start doing that, then you can start adding all these other little pearls of wisdom that Miss King is going to throw at you. You know, and there's a lot in art. You're constantly learning.